welcome back to my channel. I am the Masked Trans, and before we get today's video started, I want to give a quick what's up to my peeps and a middle finger to the creeps. You know who you are. Alright, so let's talk about season 3, episode 3 of Pose. Who's texting me? It can wait. Why is it, to all of my content creators, why does it seem like people have a sixth sense when you're creating a video that everyone wants to call and text, you know, at that particular time? I don't know what's up with that, but you know what? This is our time, okay? So whoever this is, they're gonna have to wait. So let's talk about Pose. That's what we're here for. Again, season 3, episode 3. Now, I've been reviewing this entire season of Pose, and I will say that when I saw the first episode, I didn't have a whole lot of confidence that this was going to turn out to be a good final season. You know, to be completely honest with you, after seeing the first episode, I thought to myself, this is a good time for this show to end. And when I saw episode 2, I was like, oh, okay. It's not as bad as I originally thought it was going to be. But baby, when episode 3 aired, episode 3 was enthralling, okay? Did not want the episode to end. It was so good. I love that in this episode, we got Elektra's backstory. We got a chance to understand what makes Elektra Elektra. What makes Elektra take no prisoners. What makes Elektra no nonsense. What makes Elektra so hungry. What makes Elektra so determined. What makes Elektra unafraid to step on anyone to get to what she wants. And when you see what she's gone throughout the course of her life, it's just like, damn, okay, I get it. Now, I will say, for us more mature dolls, those of us who had the opportunity to see Paris is Burning, then you get a lot of these references from Pose. You know that Elektra's story, if you've seen Paris is Burning, is sort of a hybrid of Dorian Corey and Peppa LaBeija. Peppa LaBeija talks a lot about her mother catching her in a fur coat. You know, watch Paris is Burning because there's a lot of references to the characters in Paris is Burning, which I absolutely love. So in this episode, first of all, I also want to say this. That's me bowing down to Dominique Jackson, to the character of Elektra, because I have not been a fan of Dominique's acting. I have not. I just would, for the longest, I've been like, they could have found someone else who could have played this role. That was just my personal opinion. Nothing against her personally. I don't know her, but the acting just wasn't connecting for me. But baby, I don't even remember any previous episodes after tonight's episode. Tonight's episode was a tour de force performance. I don't know, she had a coach. I don't know what was going on, but Elektra took me where I needed to be. She transported me back to the 80s. It was just, oh my gosh, Dominique, if you ever see this video, I want you to know that you murdered this video. And as a fellow trans sister, I'm so proud of your artistry and what you accomplished in this particular episode. It was absolutely amazing. Kudos to you. So this episode centered around Dominique's relationship with her mother, or let me call her by her character name. Elektra's relationship with her mother. Didn't see much of, we didn't hear anything about the father in this episode, but it was really about the relationship with her mother and what caused that relationship to fracture or fray. And it was really her mother's, I love these moments that they're showing on Pose, and I hate them at the same time. I'm dubious about them, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't want to see the vilification of black cisgendered women, right? I don't want, you know, black mothers, black grandmothers, black aunts, black sisters, black cousins who may not really have a firm understanding of transsexuality to the degree that they're able to show compassion and empathy on a level that we might want them to. The one thing I want to say about transitioning is that we as transgender people have to, if we expect grace, we have to give grace in return, right? And so when you have mothers and sisters and aunts and whomever who may not be at the point in their lives where they're ready to accept you for who you are, you also have to remember at that time, you weren't always ready to accept who you are. And just because you've reached that point doesn't mean that they'll reach that point at the same time. You know, and so, like I was saying, I love the fact that they showed this relationship between Elektra and her mother, because I hope that there are some mothers out there who may be struggling with a child who's gay, trans, bi, what have you, gender non-conforming. And not just mothers, I want dads to be held accountable too, because that's another thing I don't like. I hate the fact that we keep putting black moms on trial and giving black dads a pass. Like, we're not doing that. That's what we're not going to do. You know, even Angela Stanton, right? Angela Stanton gets a bum rap for being, you know, let me not say a bum rap. Angela loves her child, but Angela hasn't reached the point where she's ready to, and if you don't know who Angela Stanton is, research her and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the compassionate part of me feels bad for Angela Stanton, right? Because I, at the core, don't think she's a bad person. I just think that she's been raised in homophobia, raised in transphobia, raised in the hood where, you know, a man should be a man and you don't show weakness and femininity is considered to be weak. And so she's raising her child with that understanding and hasn't reached the point of understanding. And hopefully one day she will. And that brings me back to this episode with Elektra and her mom. You know, it's easy to see her mother as a villain when in actuality the mother isn't a villain. The mother is just a mother who doesn't know any better. She doesn't know any better. And on the outside looking in, it's easy to feel disdain for the mother. But I feel compassion, I feel sadness, I feel sorry for her. You know what I mean? Because when you hold on to beliefs so strongly that you're willing to let go of probably the most important relationship that you could ever have, and that's the relationship between child and parent. That is a direct descendant of you. If your beliefs supersede that, you know, I you know, I'm not even a religious person, honestly, but I pray for you, you know. So I love the fact that Pose was bold enough to tackle this subject, and show that relationship. And again, I hope that it was a wake-up call for some mothers out there who may be struggling with a trans child or a gender non-conforming child, or, you know, for whatever reason, you know, parenting is a tough job. Being a child is a tough job. At the end of the day, I just wish people learned to give grace and compassion, you know. I just feel like the world would be such a different world if people understood that. So, all right, so I'm gonna stop preaching. I'm gonna stop preaching here. But so Elektra and her mother, they were at odds because Elektra was on the pier getting her coin. She was on the pier getting her coin. You know, she was, you know, doing the dirty wine on the pier, trying to get the, you know, trying to make it pop. And her good sis lost her keys. So Elektra had to return back to her mom's house. And girl, mama was sitting up waiting in the corner on Elektra to come in that door like Rasputia. You remember Rasputia with her wig? Mama was up in that corner waiting on Elektra to tiptoe through that house. And baby, Elektra tried to creep. And mama said, come here. What's all this? What's all this, girl? And, you know, Elektra, you know, was trying to explain. Mama pulled the dog's wig off. Girl tore her clothes. And, you know, just really put Elektra in a hard position where at that point she decided, you know, look, I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of apologizing for being me. If you don't want me in my house, in your house, then I'm going to go ahead and leave. Elektra goes upstairs, gets her stuff. She's packing up to leave, and the mother said, girl, where you taking that stuff? It's in my house. It ain't going nowhere. You can go, but that's going to stay. So Elektra begs and pleads with her mother to take her things. You know, like I said, if you watch the Pepper LaBeija portion of Paris is Burning, you'll get a lot of these references. So Elektra leaves, and, you know, we see her start the House of Abundance. And it was just such, you know, because watching Paris is Burning, all you do is think, man, she's a bitch. But sometimes, is it Betty Davis that said, sometimes being a bitch is all you have to hold on to? I think that's a Betty Davis quote. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But I appreciated Elektra's past so much. And just seeing how connected the Abundance family are, you know, because in the LGBT community, unfortunately, there are many of us who get kicked out and discarded by families at an early age. You see a lot of prepubescent, you know, children out here in the streets with nowhere to go because their families have either kicked them out or abusing them to the point that they don't feel safe in their own homes anymore. And so seeing Elektra form this family and give them the love that they hadn't been afforded just simply based on their gender identity or their sexual orientation, I thought was, because a lot of people don't understand, what's a house? What is a house? Well, baby, a house is a home. A house is a home. And, you know, so when you see all of these houses, understand that there's a mother and father, because these staples, these family staples have been absent in the lives of a lot of these impressionable young people who have been discarded. So I love that Pose was able to encapsulate all of those facets here in this single episode. So Elektra gets arrested. Apparently she has a phone sex. She's, you know, doing her girl six thing. And, you know, she's you know, giving you very Dominique Devereaux for those of you who are familiar with Dynasty. And the police arrest her on some BS, some nonsense. You know how they like to do girls. So she gets arrested, and she calls Blanca, and she's like, Blanca, mother needs your help. And so, of course, if you watch season 2, you know that there was an episode where the client died and they hit him in the trunk, and we haven't really heard any more about that up until now. So Elektra, because she was arrested, excuse me, and placed in a man's holding tank. See, I'm trying not to make this a long video, but man, there's just so many different things that I want to talk about. You know what I mean? Like the experience of being trans and being arrested and the trauma that causes, you know, and a lot of people find things like this laughable, but they really don't understand the impact that has and the fear that could create. You know what I mean? Like, this is a double standard. And, you know, I don't want to placate the deaths of Daunte Wright or George Floyd, but I highly believe as a trans woman, right? If I were being arrested by a police officer and for whatever reason I was afraid and resisted and shot in the process, I don't believe the Black community would make a big deal out of it. They would be like, shouldn't have resisted. You know what I mean? And I chuckle, but it's really not a laughing matter. That's honestly how I feel. I feel like the community that I love and the community that I'm a part of would not stand up for me. And so that's why that scene with Electra being arrested and the fear that set in when she realized, she turns around in the jail cell and pleads and says, I'm a woman. And keep in mind, this was back in 1983, 84-ish, I believe the episode takes place. So times have progressed a lot more. I don't think it's quite the same. Is there some prejudice that exists? Absolutely. I don't think that's ever going anywhere. If we haven't been able to get rid of racial prejudice, transphobia is going to be here. So just buckle in and learn how to work with and work around. You know what I mean? So Electra gets arrested. She calls Blanca. Blanca is ride or die. So she goes over to Electra's house. She recruits Poppy and Ricky. They go, and with their nosy selves, they want to know what's in the trunk. And it's just like, listen, girl. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Mind your business and move this damn trunk. do what I tell you to do. So they refuse to move the trunk until they know what's going on in it. So Blanca can't hold water, girl. She told everybody Electra's business. She told her man Christopher. She told Poppy. She told Ricky, girl. Girl, she had everybody up in Electra's damn business. So she told the two of them what was going on. And they were initially resistant to helping, but they did come along and help to assist with moving the body. Then after they get the trunk moved out of Electra's apartment, Blanca's boyfriend shows up at Blanca's apartment. Let me ask you this. It's been 3 seasons. Uno, dos, tres. 3 seasons. And Blanca can't get that glass fixed in that partition. Girl, come on now. Do something about that house, girl. Wipe the walls, paint, do something, girl. So anyway, Blanca's boyfriend Christopher shows up and he immediately smells decomposition. And so he's going around sniffing it out. Blanca's like, oh no, it's a rat. You know, she's trying to make up things, but his nose leads him directly to the trunk. And Blanca, you know, is like, no, stop. And so of course, you know, he's like, and I love this scene though. Christopher just gets, they need to clone Christopher and just disperse him to all the single trans women throughout the world, because we all want a Christopher now. Well, I don't want a Christopher because I have a good man. But for those who do need a good man, then, you know, you might want a Christopher. But Christopher, Blanca basically tells him that there's a body there in the trunk. You know, he's asking her, why won't she be, he can't be with her, she's not gonna be honest. You know, he didn't leave her when she told him that she was HIV positive. So just be honest with me, you know, be transparent with me so I can support you and love you. I don't care what it is, I'm gonna hold you down. So Blanca tells him, they go get they've gotten the trunk. He calls in a favor to one of his DA friends and they get Electra released. And they all sit around and have this family moment with Poppy, Ricky, Electra, Blanca, and Christopher. And Blanca got accepted to nursing school.
Phil Lord and Christopher Robert Miller are American film and television writers, producers,
Do y'all hear Electra?
actors, and animators.
Electra is going off all the way in the other room. So I'm like, it startled me for a moment. I'm like, who's in my house? But that's Electra. I'm Alexa. Alexa's going off. So it made me a little nervous. I'm like, God damn, who's in my house? So anyway, that's pretty much all that happened, excuse me, in this episode. It was a great episode. And we only get 8 episodes this season. I'm so mad about that. There's just so much happening. So much more that I would love to see. But at least they're going out with some really great writing and really great scripts, excuse me. All right, you guys. Alexa has interrupted my flow. So
There's an incoming call.
she said there's an incoming call. Anyway, Alexa wants my attention. So I'm going to get ready to go. Before I go, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And ask yourself this question. Why be bitter when you can be better? I am the Masked Trans, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.